Good evening, viewers. Welcome to the first episode of the Mental Health Show. The first mental health disorder we're going to discuss about, me too, I have been a victim of it, is called anxiety. Anxiety is a mental health disorder caused by a lot of stress and pressure that in turn affects your day-to-day activities. You end up having very sad thoughts that affect how you do your work, if you're working, how you concentrate for school, how you even interact with people around you. You find yourself isolating yourself in worry, and that causes you to become anxious. Some of the symptoms we should be looking out for people who have anxiety. Some of them are behavioral symptoms, which are like isolating yourself, having hyperventilation. You find yourself sweating a lot, even when it's very cold in the area. Others are cognitive. The first one is lack of concentration, racing thoughts, unwanted thoughts. People with anxiety sometimes have their life in order, but somehow you find yourself creating a very negative situation out of the blue. For example, you are in a car and you're driving very well, and maybe you're about to reach your destination, and all of a sudden someone with anxiety in the car will start to think of, what if the trees on the road cave in? What if maybe a monster falls on the car? And some of those cognitive behavior symptoms of people with anxiety. Then body symptoms include fatigue and sweating. Have you been around people who sweat a lot? Sometimes it's not just a problem with their maybe digestive system or respiratory system. Sometimes it's anxiety, and they're genuinely sweating because they're anxious. And then you find some of these behavioral activities can be like insomnia. Have you found yourself not being able to sleep at night? It's because you might be anxious. And in order for you to find out if you're anxious or not, it's good for you to go to a therapist or to a mental hospital and go for checkup so that you can be sure. Another one is anger or worry. You find yourself being so angry and yet you're in a happy environment because of the thoughts you have allowed yourself to think. So I normally tell my friends who are anxious or who have anxiety, or even tell myself, because sometimes I have anxiety, is if it's not happening in the current, then I shouldn't worry about it. Or if I can't see it before my eyes, then I shouldn't worry about it. And if I can't control it, then I shouldn't worry about it. It's a piece of advice that I always give people. Some of the treatment measures we can take on as people who have anxiety is check in your what you're consuming. Are you consuming a lot of alcohol? That can cause you to be anxious because it damages your brain. Are you taking a lot of coffee? You have to turn down the lot of coffee, especially people who work. I know you try to, caffeine especially, you take drinks that have caffeine, rock boom, coffee, and if you take them excessively, they damage even your emotional capacity or even your mental capacity. So you end up being very anxious. So you have to tone it down a little. The third thing you can do is engage yourself in physical exercise as much as you can. Take a walk. You don't need to do this, go to the gym. Just take a walk around your environment. When you come from work, put down your bag, take a walk. Take a break from whatever you're doing, and then quit smoking. People who smoke a lot or even smoke at all, you know that it becomes addictive and you depend on the smoking. So if you could tone down the smoking and not depend on it, then that would help us not to be anxious. Then yoga. I see people doing yoga, so you can do relaxation techniques, anything that makes you relax. Maybe if you're doing a task at office and you feel like, I can't do it anymore, take a walk, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and then come back. Have some fresh air. It always helps you to manage stress. Then have healthy diets. It's very difficult, I know, for people who are working, but please, once in a while, eat fresh food. You don't need to eat fridge food all the time, because in the long run, it also affects your emotional capacity. And then the last one you can do if everything fails is therapy. Therapy is, in Uganda, I think our therapists start from about 50,000 to upwards, up to how you feel like. So don't worry, go to Butabika Hospital. There are some resources that some therapists that are around with their offices around town. Find out, social media has online therapists. Each can be 50,000 and above. Spare that ka 50K. Go see a therapist and then get diagnosed. To catch these such episodes and more, follow Faraja DTV on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like so that someone out there who needs such information can be able to get it.